What if I told you that in exactly 30 days, your brain physically changes shape? Not metaphorically, not as a figure of speech. Actual gray matter, actual neural pathways, rewired in less than a month. And the strange part? Most people who attempt this transformation quit by day 7, never knowing they were standing right at the edge of a complete personality shift. So why does day 7 break so many people? What happens inside the brain between day 1 and day 30 that turns weak, scattered minds into iron-willed machines? And why do some people fail the exact same challenge 5 times, while others succeed on the first try, using nothing but a single mental trick most of us have never heard of? Let's start at the beginning. In 2009, a researcher named Philippa Lally at University College London decided to test something everyone assumed they already knew. How long does it actually take to build a habit? The popular myth said 21 days. Lally tracked 96 people trying to build new behaviors, from drinking water to exercising, and measured exactly when the behavior became automatic. The answer shocked the fitness industry. It wasn't 21 days. It wasn't even close. On average, it took 66 days for a behavior to become automatic, and for some people, it stretched past 250 days. So here's the first question this raises. If it takes 66 days on average, why does a 30-day challenge work at all? This is where things get strange. The 30-day challenge isn't actually about building a permanent habit. It's about something else entirely. It's about proving something to your own brain. And that proof changes everything that comes after it. Here's what almost nobody understands about discipline. Your brain doesn't experience willpower the way you think it does. In 1996, psychologist Roy Baumeister ran an experiment that would reshape our understanding of self-control. He sat participants in a room with a plate of fresh cookies and a plate of radishes. Half were told to eat only radishes while the cookies sat there, smelling incredible, completely off limits. Afterward, both groups were given an unsolvable puzzle. The radish group, the ones who had resisted temptation, gave up in 8 minutes. The cookie group kept trying for nearly 20. Baumeister called this ego depletion, the idea that willpower is a finite resource, like a muscle that gets tired. But here's where the story takes a turn. Decades later, other researchers tried to replicate this effect on a larger scale, and the results were inconsistent. Some psychologists now argue willpower isn't a fuel tank that empties at all. It might be more like a belief. If you think you're going to run out of discipline, you do. If you don't believe in limits, you don't hit them. So which is it? Is discipline a muscle or a mindset? The answer might be both. And understanding this is exactly why the 30-day challenge works on people who failed every other method. Think about what actually happens on day 1 of any challenge. You're excited, motivated. Your brain is flooded with dopamine just from the idea of becoming a new person. This is the same neurological reward system that lights up when gamblers pull a slot machine lever. You're not addicted to the results yet. You're addicted to the possibility of results. Then day 3 hits. The novelty fades. And this is where your brain does something fascinating. Neuroscientists studying habit formation have found that behavior lives in 2 competing brain systems. One is the prefrontal cortex, the rational planner, the part of you that decided to start this challenge in the first place. The other is the basal ganglia, an ancient, primitive structure responsible for automatic behavior, the same system that controls breathing and reflexes. Here's the unsettling part. The basal ganglia doesn't care about your goals. It only cares about efficiency. And your old habits, the ones you're trying to break, are already wired into it as the most efficient path. Every time you choose the new discipline instead of the old comfort, you're fighting a structure in your brain that evolved over millions of years to resist exactly this kind of change. So the real question isn't why people quit on day 7. The real question is how anyone succeeds at all. This is where an MIT study from the early 2000s becomes relevant. Researchers Grabiel and Kyle Smith discovered something remarkable while studying habit loops in the brain. Every habit, good or bad, follows a 3-part loop: a cue, a routine, and a reward. What shocked researchers wasn't the discovery of the loop itself. It was what happened once a habit became fully automated. The brain activity in the middle of the loop, the actual routine, the actual doing of the thing, started to disappear. The brain would fire strongly at the cue, go quiet during the behavior, then fire again at the reward. In other words, once a habit is truly built, Your brain barely has to think about doing it anymore. It becomes invisible, automatic, free. This is the actual finish line of the 30-day challenge. Not motivation, not willpower, automation. But here's the twist nobody talks about. The 30-day challenge doesn't just build a habit. It rebuilds your identity. Psychologist James Clear, drawing on decades of behavioral research, points to something deeper than habit formation. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you believe yourself to be. Skip a workout, and you're not just missing exercise. You're casting a vote for being someone who quits. Complete day 14 when you didn't want to, and you're casting a vote for being someone who follows through, even when it's hard. After enough votes, the identity itself shifts. And once your identity shifts, discipline stops feeling like discipline. It starts feeling like you. This is why day 30 feels almost unrecognizable compared to day 1. You are not fighting the same battle. You're not even the same voter. Now here's where evolution enters the picture, and it explains something deeply strange about human psychology. For most of human history, conserving energy meant survival. Our ancestors who moved efficiently, who avoided unnecessary effort, who took the path of least resistance, were the ones who survived famine, cold, and physical danger. Discipline, the willingness to endure discomfort for a distant, invisible reward, was almost never necessary for immediate survival. Which means the version of you struggling to wake up at 5 a.m. isn't broken. You're running software optimized for a world that no longer exists. Your ancient brain doesn't know the difference between an unnecessary risk 100,000 years ago and skipping the gym today. It only knows effort now, uncertain reward later, high risk. So every single person who completes a 30-day challenge is doing something evolutionarily unnatural. They're overriding a survival mechanism that kept humans alive for 300,000 years, using nothing but belief in a future self they haven't met yet. And maybe that's the real mystery hiding inside this challenge. It was never really about the workouts, the cold showers, or the early mornings. It's about whether you can become a person your ancestors' brains were never designed to become. A person who chooses discomfort on purpose, who trusts a version of themselves they cannot yet see, who votes every single day for someone they are not yet, until one day, without noticing exactly when it happened, they are. So maybe the question was never, can you survive 30 days? Maybe the question is, who is waiting for you on day 31?